So Lee, a defeat at the weekend against Durham. How have the players responded in training?
Yeah, it's been good. I think it wasn't even just the response in training; it was the response immediately afterwards. I think they understood the performance on the day, and we've really just spoke about making sure that this is a blip in the good run of form we've had and the good performances. So it's a hard place to go, Durham. They played really well on the day. Couple of key moments where we just fell short, which meant the game could have maybe gone the other way. I definitely don't think it was 5-1 wasn't a fair reflection. The score wasn't a fair reflection on the performance. Should have been a bit closer, but yeah, ultimately we didn't hit the heights we had previously. So we just got to take it as hopefully a blip and get back to that performance we've been putting together recently.
What was your message to the players after the result and after obviously the other results didn't go our way?
I think it was just to, again, as I said there, like find that concentrate on finding that performance again, and just understand that in this run after Christmas or this second half of the season, we weren't going to play well in every game. You know, you hope that you have one of these games where maybe you don't play so well, but you still get a result. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case the weekend. So we just looked at it as a blip, as a moment to take some key learning from. We were obviously missing, some key players. We were missing 4 attacking players, and I think that showed on the day with the threat that we've had going forward wasn't there as much. That will be remedied going forward. So yeah, that was probably a tough thing. As far as the other results, we've said it doesn't. There's no way that these other teams in this division are not going to go and pick up points. So we're not looking at the teams above us and aiming for their points total. We've got to aim beyond that. We've got an idea of what we think we need. But ultimately, we need to win games and really put the teams above us under pressure. But yeah, those other teams are going to pick up points between now and then. We're trying to make sure it's not against us.
And another one who played well on Sunday and got another goal was Izzy Goodwin. Like you said about the players missing, do you think with her playing well, it's a nice little stepping stone for these players who are going to come back from injury and be there like, oh yeah, you know what, we've got a decent player to work with here?
Yeah, I think the issue was at the weekend that Izzy was too isolated at times, and we couldn't get the players in and around. Obviously, the players that were missing are big key players, and Morgan can only play a certain amount of game. But when we saw Morgan come on and link up with Izzy, all of a sudden things started opening up. So it showed what we can do when we get players in and around her. She was excellent again. Ultimately on the day she was against 2 of probably the best centre halves in the division and 2 of the most experienced, and they gave Izzy a real tough game. She still managed to score low and cause them problems, so she would have learnt a lot from the weekend, because playing against that calibre of players, I think you always are going to.
Looking at Sunderland, a strong team, just like Durham, it's replicating another long away trip. But they've been in an up and down season as well compared to last year. What do you expect this weekend?
Yeah, I think similar to Durham as far as what you get from the teams up in the North East and how they play and what Sunday will bring. They were really good when they come here against us before. We were obviously in a bit of a different place. They scored some good goals on the day. They obviously got off to a flying start and we were chasing the game. And watching that game back, there was a couple of moments where we should have got back into it. We didn't, and they were good on the day. So we know how good they can be. So they had a real good patch of form after they played us. That's kind of turned, and they're probably looking to turn that back around again. But they're a good side. They've got some really good players, and they've also improved their squad since we played them like we have. And
looking at injuries as well, any fresh updates on these players that are slowly coming back?
Yeah, we're actually in a much better place, which we needed to. Last week it wasn't the volume of injuries; it was just in a particular sort of unit. Mainly the attacking unit, having four strikers out was not ideal. But they're back and all in contention to play again, which is great. Jodie Bartle is back training and should be back available for the game the weekend as well. So that's actually been a big loss to us. So ultimately we got a couple from the weekend. We just got to bear in mind, but we're in a much better place this week as far as the all-round squad.
After the defeat on Sunday, despite the nice run of form we've been on, what's your message to the fans? Who have seemed very disheartened after that defeat and feel like it's another 3 steps back, even though in reality it isn't.
No, it's just that. I think it's understanding that Durham away is probably the hardest place to go at any given point in time. You know, they shouldn't be where they are in the league. We were missing players and we didn't perform on the day. So when those things happen, you're gonna slip. I think it's ultimately just understanding where this group's at. They're still a young group. They're still a group that are merging together. We gave a league debut again to players and things. So I think that it was the one fixture in the calendar when I looked at the second half of the season where I knew we were tough. It was always tough to go up there, and it proved that. So yeah, there's no need to panic after a loss away to Durham. It does put more pressure on the games going forward, of course it does, but I think everyone's seen what this group of players can do, and yeah, it's a big one the weekend. They know that, and I have massive belief that they're going to bounce back and show what they're about this weekend.
That's a great way of saying.